What's up, YouTube? My name is Christopher Moore, and in today's video, we're going to go over how to paginate a list of results in our GraphQL schema. We'll start by building our own resolver to paginate a list of users, and then we'll take a look at the built-in directives that Lighthouse provides for us to paginate a list of models as well as paginating relationships. So let's get started. All right, so first, if we take a look at our schema, we're currently returning every single user inside of our DB. And if you have 1,000 plus users, that's not going to be very performant. We're probably going to want to paginate that list of results. So first, we're actually going to create our own pagination here. So I'm going to change this back to a field, and we're going to create our own resolver for this. So say user query paginate. And in order to paginate a list of results, we're going to need a couple of arguments. First, we're going to need the page that's being requested, and we'll default that to page 1. And then next is going to be our total count that we want, so we'll default that to 15. Save it. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and create my class here, which is user query PHP. GraphQL queries class user query, and we call our function paginate. Right, and then from our pagination, we have our root, which is going to be null, and we have our array of arguments. All right, so to paginate our users, we're going to return app user paginate. And in order to do this manually, so by default, Laravel is going to look for a page inside the request, but we can't quite do that in here because of the way that we're setting up our GraphQL query. So instead, what we're going to do is we'll say, actually, since we have a default value, it's safe to just go ahead and use count. And default here is select all. We'll just keep that page, and here, out of our arguments, we're going to get the current page number. All right, so this is how you would manually create a paginated list. So let's go ahead and run this in the GraphQL IDEs, PHP artisan serve. If I come back here, users, well, by default, is actually going to go ahead and give us all of them, and then I can actually add count here. And we'll just say that we want to get the first 3 users. All right, so now we just have our first 3, and we can increment the page number to get the next set. There we go. All right, now, even though this, technically speaking, works, it doesn't give us quite enough information. So if you could imagine if you try to build a spa application and trying to paginate a list of results, it would be useful to know how many users you have total, if you have an additional pages, how many pages total you have, which is some options that Laravel gives you out of the box. So we need to convert that into a set of results. Lighthouse, if we take a look at its API directives, we have a paginate directive here. And so let's go ahead and use that. That'll allow us to paginate our list of results. So I can actually go ahead and get rid of the arguments, switch this to paginate. I'm going to go ahead and save this and take a look. So you're going to see we actually can't query email and ID on our list. And the reason why is because users is now returning a type called user paginator. So let's take a quick look at that. User paginator. So what Lighthouse has done is under the hood, basically, it's returning a set of results, our list of users, which is what we've defined here under data, but it's also giving us this paginator info. And here is where we can get like the total count, if it has more pages, how many items per page, the total number, etc. that we're used to getting out of Laravel. So now, if we go ahead and adjust our query, You can say data if we just want to get the list, email, and I'll switch this back to page 1 so you can see the changes. All right, so now we have it nested underneath data, and I can also request paginator info and get the total number, and I can see if we have additional pages. So we have a total of 11 users inside of our database, and we do have more pages to paginate through. All right. So additionally, we have this relationship here on the user model called jobs with a has many relationship. And even though for our use case, there's a total of 5, so it might not be the worst thing to go ahead and return all 5. Again, typically, you don't want to return a whole list of data. So we're going to change this. And we're going to set the type to paginator. So again, if we go back to our API here, we can set this to paginator. We can also set this to connection. All right, so we've made our changes. So now let's go back to our list of users. I'm going to request the additional field jobs. And I'm going to say that I just want the first 2. And data, title, and we'll also grab the paginator info out of this and get the total. So for each user, I'm going to get 2 jobs. I'm going to see how many jobs total each user has, and I'm going to grab the title for each job. And there we go. So for each user, we have a total of 5, and I'm grabbing the title of each job for each user. All right, and in the next video, we'll go through how to filter these results. So currently, right now, we're getting every single job or every single user, even though we're paginating our results. But it might be nice to do some matching or some queries where we might want to say, okay, give me all users that have an email address that includes X, or give me all jobs that were created after some certain timestamp. So we'll go over that in the next video.